Welcome back students. I am your SST teacher Vandana Joshi and you are watching SST June. Students, as we have started our fifth chapter of history in our previous video, the chapter name is When People Rebel 1857 and After. So in that series students, today we will see our next topic, which is the most important topic in our Indian history. Why, that I will explain you, but let's see first what is the topic. The topic is a mutiny become a powerful rebellion. Students, as this last video I have told you about two sources which you have seen. In among them second one source, in that you have studied about the rebellion which was started by the soldiers against the Britishers army. So students, what is the mutiny? First we will see what is mutiny. That when the soldiers as a group, they disobey to their officers, those are their officers. When the group of soldiers is disobeying to their soldiers in the army, the mutiny become in a आर्मी. ओके, सो म्यूटिनी जो होती है बच्चों, वो आर्मी के अंदर जब सोल्जर्स का एक ग्रुप जो होता है वो अपने ऑफिसर्स की बात को नहीं मानता है और उनके अगेंस्ट प्रोटेस्ट करना स्टार्ट कर देता है, सो दैट इज़ कॉल्ड mutiny. Okay, so now that why the mutiny is related to our 1857's rebellion. Students, actually the mutiny which was occurred during that time, it was just because of one case was there, which was between the Indian soldiers and the British soldiers. As students, that in source 2 you have seen the which cartridge was used by the soldiers in the army. That was, students, that cartridge were coated with the fat of pigs and cows, and as you know that pigs and cows are having religious beliefs, so due to that cause the mutiny started in our army. Okay, so let's see what was the total story. So students, if we talk about the mutiny was the immediate cause of the 1857's rebellion. Students, by the end of 1856, the ground for an uprising against the British was fully prepared. The immediate issue which incites the revolt was the incident of greased cartridge, which were greased by the fat of cow and pigs. ओके, यानी कि जो इमीडिएट कॉज था इस रिबेल का वो था जो काव और पिग के फैट से ग्रीस्ड कार्टेज यूज़ हो रहे थे राइफल में वो. ओके, हाउ इन जनवरी 1857 a rumor spread like wildfire in the Bengal regiment that the cartridge was greased with the fat of the cow and the pig, with the deliberate aim of debashing their रिलीजन्स. यानी कि अफवाह उड़ रही थी, ऐसी बंगाल से स्टार्ट हुई थी कि आर्मी में जो कार्टेज यूज़ किए जा रहे हैं वो काव और पिग के फैट से कोटेड हैं, जो कि हिंदू और मुस्लिम्स के रिलीजन को ख़त्म करने के लिए बनाए गए हैं. ओके, and that it annoyed both Hindu and Muslim soldiers who thought that their religion was being spoiled to convert them into Christianity. यानी कि हिंदू और जो मुस्लिम थे उन्होंने ये सोचा कि ये हमें क्रिश्चियन बनाना चाहते हैं, इस तरीके से हमारा धर्म को क्या करना चाहते हैं, ख़त्म करना चाहते हैं. The soldiers challenged the British authority by refusing the use of greased cartridge and it ignited the fire of the uprising. और जब जो भी सोल्जर्स थे उन्होंने इस कार्टेज को यूज़ करने से मना कर दिया, तो ब्रिटिशर्स को उन्होंने उसके अगेंस्ट ब्रिटिशर्स के अगेंस्ट चले गए और वहाँ से आपका जो 1857 का रिबेल है वो स्टार्ट हुआ. सो स्टूडेंट्स, ऑन 29 मार्च 1857, मंगल पांडे, a sepoy at Barakpur, he refused to use the cartridge and attacked his सीनियर ऑफिसर्स। यानी कि 1857 29 जनवरी को एक सिपाही था मंगल पांडे, उसने इन कार्टेजेस को यूज़ करने से मना कर दिया। एंड देन आफ्टर दैट ही अटैक टू हिज सीनियर ऑफिसर, उसने अपने सीनियर्स पे हमला बोल दिया। एंड व्हाट हैपन आफ्टर दैट, ही वॉज अरेस्टेड एंड लेटर हैंग्ड टू दैट, और बाद उसको पकड़ लिया गया और उसे फांसी दे दी गई। एंड व्हाट हैपन आफ्टर दैट, आफ्टर द डेथ ऑफ मंगल पांडे, a spark came and it spread over the army cantonments, and then after that all army persons, they started a revolt against the Britishers in Meerut. And after that the revolt was spread over the country. ओके यानी कि जब मंगल पांडे को सज़ा दे दी गई तो उसके बाद जितने भी सैनिक थे इंडिया के, तो उन सब ने एक रिवॉल्ट स्टार्ट कर दिया ब्रिटिशर्स के अगेन। एंड धीरे धीरे वो सारे मेरठ में फैल गया। एंड देन आफ्टर दैट इट स्प्रेड ओवर द कंट्री। ओके, so students, Delhi, Kanpur, Jhansi are the main areas where the revolt started. Even that western part of Bihar and the Bareilly is also included in that. Those were the main center of that rebellion. Okay, and if we will talk about the main leaders, so students, those were the rebellions. They decided that the last Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah Jafar will be the leader of that rebel, and the other leaders were that Tatya Tope, Nana Sahib, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Begum Hazrat Mahal. They were the main leader of that 1857's revolt. Students, it was a revolt, but it was not successful because the Britishers easily they suppressed that revolt. So which actions they were took to suppress that revolt? Let's see in our next topic, that company fights back. So students, how the company fight back against the revolt? To suppress revolt, company started to impose new law against the Indians. First of all, Sir John Nicholas, he became successful in suppressing the rising of revolt. यानी कि सर जॉन निकोलस जो थे उन्होंने रिवोल्ट के शुरू होने से पहले इसको दबाना शुरू कर दिया. How that he caught the Bahadur Shah Jafar, and as a result Bahadur Shah Jafar was imprisoned and sent to Rangoon jail where he died. तो सबसे पहले उसने क्या करा, बिकॉज द लीडर ऑफ दैट रिवोल्ट was decided by all that he was बहादुर शाह जफ़र, the last मुग़ल एम्परर. सो उन्होंने उसको पकड़ लिया और उसको पकड़ के जेल में डाल दिया और उसके बाद उसको रंगून जेल में भेज दिया, जहाँ की कुछ समय के बाद बहादुर शाह की डेथ हो गई. ओके, एंड इफ़ यू विल टॉक द revolt which was started in Kanpur, what happened in that? So students, in Kanpur one revolt, General Wheeler, he successful to suppress the revolt, and the British again reconquered the Kanpur under the leadership of Sir Campbell. Okay, and in Jhansi, heroes also suppressed the rebellion, and British again conquest the areas which were started revolt against them. Students, a revolt was there, but it was not successful. Why? There are many reasons behind that, but among them the popular reason was that the rebellions were not united. They didn't plan the revolt very nicely, so that's why it was not successful. And if we will talk about the result of that revolt, it was also so much brutal. Why? बहुत भयानक था बच्चों वो रिज़ल्ट, क्योंकि इन दैट द ब्रिटिशर्स दे टुक रिवेंज टू द कॉमन पीपल. हाउ? दे हैंग्ड मैनी विलेजर्स एंड इवन मैनी वर मैस्कर्ड इन दैट. some villages were burnt alive, and few villages also the Britishers burnt due to suppress the revolt. So much brutality was there against the Indians. So it was the way how the company fight back against the Indian revolt. But students, after seeing the revolt, the company also planned many things. Students, as British felt that these type of revolts may occur in future, कि इस तरीके के रिवोल्ट्स जब एक बार शुरू कर चुके हैं तो दोबारा भविष्य में फिर से कर सकते हैं. सो दे इंट्रोड्यूस few more policies which were new, and then again they started to exploit the Indians. So let's see what were these policies in our next topic, that is aftermath. So students, there were few policies which were introduced by the Britishers. These were as according to an act passed by the British Parliament in August 1858, just after the revolt. Okay, what happened in that? The company rule came to an end. The responsibility for administration was taken up the British Queen and the Parliament. A Secretary of State for India was appointed to take the place of the President of the Board of Control. तो यहाँ पे जो कंपनी थी ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी, उसका रूलिंग ख़त्म हो गया और उसकी जगह पे जो क्वीन थी ब्रिटेन की, उनका रूल अब स्टार्ट हो गया. उनके साथ साथ जो पार्लियामेंट थी वो भी इसमें इंक्लूड हो गई. ओके, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट द टाइटल ऑफ द गवर्नर जनरल वॉज चेंज्ड. ही रिमाइंडेड गवर्नर जनरल फॉर द प्रोविंसेस अंडर हिज रूल एंड केम टू बी नोन एज वाइसरॉय. यानी कि जो गवर्नर जनरल थे उनका नाम गवर्नर जनरल से चेंज होके वाइसरॉय हो गया. वाइल डीलिंग विद नवाब, राजास एंड नेटिव प्रिंसेस, यानी कि जब भी वो कोई चीज़ साइन करते या किसी से भी वो डील करते तो एज ए वाइसरॉय डील करते. ओके, एंड द गवर्नमेंट assured that no further territories would be annexed in future. The rules could pass on their territories to their heirs, including adopted son. However, they had to acknowledge the British Queen as their sovereign. Thus, the Indian kingdoms were made subordinate to the British crown, and even Queen Victoria granted full religious freedom. यानी कि अब इस रिपोर्ट के बाद से जब ब्रिटिश किंगडम को फील होने लगा कि शायद इतना ज़्यादा भी सप्रेस करना ठीक नहीं है, देन आफ्टर दैट दे ग्रांटेड द फुल रिलीजियस फ्रीडम. इंडियन वर ऑल्सो गिवन द एश्योरेंस दैट हाई पोस्ट वुड बी गिवन टू देम विदाउट एनी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. इवन जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन इंडियंस ने देखा था ब्रिटिश आर्मी में, अब वो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन उन्हें नहीं देखने को मिलेगा, ऐसा वादा भी ब्रिटिशर्स के थ्रू किया गया. एंड द बिगेस्ट रिजल्ट ऑफ द रिवोल्ट, इट वॉज दैट इट हैड यूनाइटेड इंडियंस अगेंस्ट द कॉमन एनिमी. एज in the revolt the Indians were not united, so after the result of revolt now they were united to against their enemy. And very soon a struggle for independence, democracy, social equality and national development began in India. It led to complete independence in 1947. So students, as you have seen that revolt of 1857, it was known as the milestone in our history because it introduced to Indians how they have to unite against their enemy. Even students, if you will talk that this was the revolt who introduced to Indians how they become democrat, how they fight for their equality and many more. Okay, and one more thing students, just after that revolt and Britishers also felt that the suppression which was done by them, it was not so much good. As you have seen in few policies which were started by the Britisher, that Queen Victoria also granted that religious freedom to Indians, and they also ensured to the Indians that they will get the equal right as the Britishers were getting. Okay, student, this revolt is also important because earlier India was divided into different territories. There were more than 500 states which were known as the princely state, later which were united by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. But due to that revolt, the states were united and they started the protest against the Britishers to become independent. So students, here you have seen how the Indians fight back for their freedom. So students, here the chapter is complete. Hope you understood this. For more videos and update, keep watching SST June.